Hey everybody, welcome to Alcon Arcana, a questionably accurate discussion on fantasy lore. I'm your blood-sucking bureaucrat. I was so close. I did so good. 3, 2. Hey everybody, welcome to Alcon Arcana, a questionably accurate discussion on fantasy lore. I'm your blood-sucking bureaucrat, Blake.
I'm your toothless tiefling, Bryce.
And I'm your anti-cyber bullywug, Travis.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
Hey, how's everybody? I'm glad I got a little tickle out of Blake.
You did. You got me good. Good.
First and foremost, we should apologize for missing last week. Life just kind of got in the way,
apologies.
We'll try not to make a habit out of it. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. Apparently, some of our fans were very angry about it. So
you guys were quick to turn on that hate mail. I appreciate that.
We are.
Yeah, we needed it.
I just didn't appreciate you contacting my family and my work.
Sometimes they gotta know,
But maybe I deserved it. Yeah. Maybe I deserved it.
They went to my favorite Subway and just went after those people, which is kind of messed up.
We don't even know this guy.
No, who are you talking about?
All right, and then also, well, hang on.
What are you looking at?
Nothing, apparently.
All right. This is one of the best parts of an audio medium is when someone has to look something up and it takes a while.
Oh, right.
So it's this fun, awkward silence.
No, I should have had this ready to go. But something I forgot about. We are on YouTube. I set our Podbean to automatically upload to YouTube. And I didn't remember this until we got a comment on YouTube. I want to send a shout out to Jacob. That's JAYCK0P. Who has loved our YouTube channel. He's also a connoisseur of burping, I guess. Jacob,
this guy, yes.
We love that you listen. I will stop editing out all the burps so you can have them. If you also are a fan of burps, and why wouldn't you be? Check out his channel. It's going to be a good time to do.
One day there'll be a little collaboration where he'll stitch together all our burps. And,
we need to build them up first.
Yeah,
we're saving that for the Super Bowl commercial, guys. Yeah. We're not putting the burps out in this compilation until we get that.
We'll see Guinness Book of World Records for the longest burp. Let's see if we can nail that one.
But Alcohol Arcana and Burp Guy, that's just the recipe for a rocket ship to success. So
he's got a name and he's a loyal fan, and we love having you, Jacob. Never stop being you.
We love you, buddy. I wish I could summon a burp to punctuate that.
No, the natural ones are the best.
I can't really.
It's like faking an orgasm. Never fake one.
The one that I put out right when you said that, it really was natural, as if my gut knew what was happening, and that's probably the best part about it.
No, I saw you make the face like you were burping. I didn't hear it.
I apologize. I did get a good burp in there. I guess it just didn't come through. I'm pretty upset about this overall, Jacob. I apologize. Look, you put your faith in us, and I can't even give you a good burp on your good burp name, and that ain't right.
I can assure you.
Put a burp in post.
No, I will never fake it. If there are burps, they're real. I'm never going to fake it.
How dare I suggest this?
No.
Blasphemy.
All right. So today, what are we talking about? Because it's not burps.
Well,
from my understanding, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been wrong before. Not on this podcast, but another medium, another situation and circumstances. I believe today we're talking about the vampires.
It's pronounced vampires, but yes,
the vampires. And I struggled a bit with this one because there just wasn't a lot.
To
go on.
Few people have heard of these.
Yeah, I asked everybody, and I got just blank stares. There's no books, there's no movies, there's no
video games.
Video games. So it was I had to go into the stacks at the library and look at some obscure texts.
Some would call these books.
Or books too. Yeah.
So you said there's no books. Now you're a liar.
I was actually just looking at cell phone texts. They have a whole shelf of old cell phones.
Got it.
All old
Nokias. Through the texts. Yeah, and just a little T9 action to look up what a vampire is.
Nice.
And I'm happy to report I've got a bit of notes, but man, how did you guys find this one?
Yeah, I remember back in the day when I was on my abacus, reading on my abacus about the vampire, and I think that's really the only place I've ever seen it mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I feel like we were searching different internets.
What'd you find?
Did you try the internet?
Were you on that?
I know Nokias and abacuses are good.
Abaci?
I didn't even think about the internet. Have you been using the internet this entire time to research for this podcast?
Admittedly, for this episode, I have done zero research, but typically, no.
Yeah, Travis, you're gonna have to steer the ship on this one, bud.
I will give it my best shot. I do have a handful of notes and some things we can talk about. But before we get too far into it, you guys want to discuss what you're drinking tonight per tradition, as is tradition?
Super excited to tell you.
I sure would. Go ahead, Brycer.
Okay, so mine is mine's an homage to waiting a long time to restock your alcohol in the house. This one is a very good one. It's called Simpler Brand Wines. It's a very small can. It is, what is it, like 8 ounces? But anyway, it's a sparkling rosé, Vino Frizzante. It says product of Italy on it like 800 times.
Hey, don't class it up, Dirt. That's shitty canned wine.
250 milliliters. 10%.
10% is pretty good, man.
10%, I'm back in.
Yeah,
I'm back in. You did class it up, sir.
Let's hear if this little petite can makes a sound when I open it. Okay.
Yeah, respectable.
So it's in a Red Bull can. That's the size of it. So let's see. I got pinkies up, guys.
There you go.
I also leaned in to hear him open that as if the headphones weren't attached to my face.
Yeah. I saw that too. I was like, I don't know if that's going to help, but
so
it did though. It did. I felt better.
The size of the can and lifting it up to my face, my mouth and my head expected to taste Red Bull. So immediately I tasted Red Bull, and then I got a punch in the mouth. Like, nope, that's not Red Bull.
It's a sparkling rosé, you said, right?
Yeah, that's what it tastes like. It tastes like cheap wine.
So we are at the bottom. Bryce is at the bottom of the barrel of his liquor cabinet. Pretty soon he's going to be just presenting fermented boxes of High C juice boxes of Tanner.
We're working on it.
He's going to be like sipping on that, and you're like, I found this behind the couch, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get me drunk.
Yeah, I don't think they're alcoholic yet. I worked. They're under there.
Speaking of homemade wines and homemade juice boxes, we are considering actually like spending a day brewing and making that into an episode if anyone is interested in that.
Yeah, we were supposed to do that already, but like I said, life got in the way. We will do this. This is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm actually really looking forward to that.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I think we should.
It's going to be
get going on that, get that ready.
Like a campfire chat, except brewing chat. Just random thoughts.
It's going to be wonderful. The problem is the brew usually puts the campfire out. All right, so I am drinking. Ooh, Jacob. So I am drinking Shiner's Weiss and Easy. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to do, but it sounds like it's a wheat beer brewed with dewberries and natural flavor. So let's see how it is.
That sounds interesting.
What's a dewberry?
You know what a dewberry is.
Is it the opposite of a don't berry?
Dewberry Farms.
Have I had a dewberry before? Is it?
It's good. It's good. It's good. Definitely on the. We love fruity beers here on this podcast.
I love little bitty rosés.
If you like fruity beers, you're gonna like this. It's extremely fruity. If I could tell you what a dewberry tasted like, it tastes exactly like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's doing well. Yeah, I'd say it's good.
Which came first, the Shiner Dewberry beer or the dewberry?
The beer.
Shiner Dewberry beer. Everybody knows that.
You plant one, you get a dewberry bush.
That's what I figured. I'm not a farmer.
Comes right out of the can if I just leave it in the recycling too long.
Are we in the golden age of fruit beer right now? Like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago was the IPA. We had a little sour run,
Oh, thank God that's over.
And now I feel like, man, I just feel like we're in the golden age, the golden era of fruit beers.
Oh, I still haven't tried those the Natty Light, like strawberry lemonade type shit. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of that.
Yeah, that's what you. If you don't drink that on the next episode, our listeners are gonna be furious.
Okay, now I have to. I'm gonna. Yeah, and you can't buy like a 6-pack. You have to get like a case. Like I'm gonna have 24 of these motherfuckers.
Dude, we're getting together. Like, just paint with us on Friday through the interwebs. We'll throw you on Skype there too.
Kayla would love that. We might try that.
That's what I'm saying. Actually, throw on Skype, buy that case, and let's do it.
All right, done.
Yeah. If you guys will permit me, I've got a couple drinks I'd like to premiere here.
Hell yeah, dude! Double fisted.
I love that. Let's see it, dude.
You got to make a double fisting song.
Yeah. We'll,
go ahead.
We'll pause for insert double fisting song.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, and we're back. So the one I've been warming up with, I've been drinking a handful of these tonight. It's ranch water. Have you guys had ranch water before?
I think I've had it. Yeah.
Javi's ranch water. It's agave seltzer,
I have not
watermelon
had it.
lime, 100% blue agave.
I heard about this today.
Really? Because I heard about it a
definitely
couple
heard
of weeks
about it.
ago. Yeah, I heard about it a couple of weeks ago. A buddy of mine was like, "Hey, have you ever had ranch water?" And I was like, "No, I had never even heard of it." But he didn't bring me any. He made his own. He's like, "Oh, I just got the ingredients and I just like made my own."
What?
And he was like drinking it out of a Nalgene. Yeah, and it was pretty cool.
Is your friend
tasted
back
really
from
good.
Alabama?
No, actually, yes, it was. So we got some, or actually Michelle got some, and then I just stole a couple of hers tonight. And I've been drinking them.
It
They're
always,
really good.
have you ever
that.
thought about getting your own beer?
Yeah, you need to keep
you ever
Michelle.
thought
She
maybe not
always
steal
picks
from
up
Michelle?
beer from for you.
Wait, do you guys get your own beer?
Yeah, I did. No, I'm just kidding. Brett bought this.
Kayla won't touch the stuff. She doesn't even look at it.
She hates this.
So this is my first one, and then I have another one. So this one's almost done, and I have another one, and that is Eureka Heights.
Oh,
And
I love Eureka.
it is we're deep in the festive Oktoberfest season right now. So we have Eureka Heights von Wolfhausen beer, and it's got a little pretzel man on
Oh, that's awesome.
the can, and it says "Fest beer is the best beer."
Okay.
And Eureka Heights, I like their cans. They have
Travis.
good can art.
Dude, their
Travis,
cans.
You are way too Aryan to be talking German like that. It is frightening.
Yeah. We just attracted a whole new fan base.
So,
that we're gonna find
speaking-
And
problematic.
you guys can fuck right off.
Can I do I'm going to do a quick throwback here since we're talking about Eureka Heights and labels. I forget which one of us had Mostly Harmless, right? One of us drank that.
Yes.
It was
yes.
me. It was the dolphin, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. So you know what none of us mentioned, but we should have, is that logo is based off of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Mostly
Oh.
Harmless, and it's a dolphin with a towel on.
Yeah. I should have
Oh.
mentioned. I did know that. I should have mentioned it. I didn't.
Does it
I
say
did not know
so
that until
long
post
and
episode.
Thanks for
This
all
is
the
Bryce's
fish?
fault. It's Bryce's fault.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just fucking up left
Way to
and
drop
right,
the
guys.
ball, bud.
God, Bryce, come on.
Also, the past couple episodes, hopefully they were all right, but that was some midnight editing to get them done by Monday. Hopefully you liked them.
We can take just a couple minutes to address a lot of the controversy about our last episode.
Yeah.
This
We
one
should.
this one
Oh,
got
the Dumbledore?
yeah, man. This one got some heated responses from family members, from friends, politicians,
Strangers,
And
politicians.
it's weird. Literally everyone agreed with me.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part. Is that everybody was like, "Oh my god, this could not have been more wrong of a take from Blake." So this is cool.
I got a lot of death threats. A lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
death threats.
Blake's actually in hiding. He's not even in Houston anymore.
He bought a security system because of the response that the fan base was getting. But you know what I say to that? Keep it coming, because we like that engagement.
And you know what?
We do.
He
I
was
love it.
wrong.
I love it.
Make him admit it.
I won't. I never will.
I'd be lying if I told you it wasn't awesome to see people riled up, though. So I hope we can get a little bit more of that, but maybe not too much of it, but a little bit of it's fine.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm fine with riling people up. You know, I love it. We're going to talk truth about vampires tonight, and it's probably not going to make too many people happy.
Were there
Or they-
vampires?
I don't know.
Were there vampires in Harry Potter?
Oh,
I'm gonna go with no. I don't think there were. Not Harry Potter proper, like the OG 7 books.
I think
I think they might have been mentioned in passing, but yes, there were no vampires who showed up.
yeah, there were no vampire characters, right? But yeah, I think you're
There-
right. I think
there's certainly no vampire characters. I do believe they were at least said in some sense. But yeah, no, there's no character that we know of who was officially a vampire. I'd be shocked if there weren't vampires, however.
there were
Because
werewolves.
vampires are fantasy bullshit. Wizards are
Exactly.
real. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. This is where we enter into the complete realm of fantasy. Everything else we've talked about has been, somewhat
Based in
based
truth,
in,
yeah.
in truth, and vampires are just completely out there. So yeah. Anyway,
So where do we start?
Well,
where do we start with vampires?
We're starting
Yeah,
off at
this isn't-
a place much worse than Etton's. We had a strong base there, but now we have vampires.
you had a world rich in Eton lore, a deep well to pull from. And then vampires, I think. Actually, no. To be honest, it's the opposite. We were just talking about this, Bryce. There's just so many representations, so many books, so many movies, so many video games.
There's a lot, but there's certain things that stay true, right?
Yeah,
True.
There's a lot of consistency, and I wonder how much of that consistency we can get into the specific characteristics of vampires.
We'll start with D&D because that's what we know. So with D&D,
I've heard of that.
What do we know of vampires in D&D? And just fair warning for everyone, I did read about vampires in D&D, but I specifically tried to avoid some topics because we are currently playing through Curse of Strahd. I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
Wait, is Strahd a vampire?
Bryce!
Shit, Bryce!
We already learned it in the game.
No, come on.
We don't know that for sure.
Okay, well,
Come
I avoided reading about that, so there might be, some things you're screaming at your speakers that we aren't talking about, and that's why, because I'm trying to avoid.
There is
spoilers.
a blurb about Strahd in the D&D monster manual,
and I didn't even read.
It tells
that.
you his origins, which I don't know. Maybe I did spoil that because
you 100% spoiled that for yourself.
Actually, honestly, reading about like their weaknesses and stuff, even not Strahd specifically, but reading about D&D lore and their weaknesses and stuff, I probably did spoil some things, like because now I know some things maybe my character wouldn't.
Well, you don't have to metagame. You can be
within our game, you guys are all monster hunters. I don't think it's metagaming for monster hunters to know some weaknesses of vampires. I think that's fine.
Even if my character knows some weaknesses in past editions of the game we're playing, is that too meta?
No, that's too meta. Your character will know just enough from 5e and nothing. You have a medium amount of knowledge. Let's go with that.
All right.
Well, based on what you did read, Bryce, what stood out to you from the D&D blurbs and snippets?
Tried and true
I got
things.
2 things.
Tried and true. We know they suck on blood.
Sucking on blood.
And one, not only do they turn into bats, but they specifically state in the first D&D that they are not lycanthropes. It specifically says these are not lycanthropes. They are undead.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that distinction because usually you see movies that have both, and it's usually pretty consistent. But I didn't even think about that.
They put it right there, no questions asked. Like, this is not a lycanthrope.
Don't even fucking think it. Yeah. You think it, you done.
How dare you?
Who
I'm
do you
insulted
think
that I
you
even
are?
had to write this in the text.
Yeah.
But
so
first things first.
While they can turn into a bat, they're not.
I'm the realist.
They're not a lycanthrope. They are a vampire. And it kind of changes. So, like, early on, they could turn into a bat. They could also turn into, like, a gaseous form, kind of disappear, turn into, like, a mist.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
Yeah, and that kind of stays the same. I didn't read 5e, so I was afraid I would ruin stuff, but that kind of stays the same until then, where they can turn into a mist.
Is that a new thing? So, obviously, most of this lore is probably carried over from Bram Stoker's Dracula and other
yes, they did.
Stuff. Is the gaseous form, is that a new thing that did D&D introduce?
No, that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, that wasn't new. The only, I think, bit of flair Gary Gygax or whoever wrote the vampire stuff for D&D added was
Barry Gygax.
The only thing they added
and Barry was his husband.
Yeah, the only thing they added was so typically holy water.
His name was Barry Gygax before that.
Oh my god. Anyway, you guys are dumb.
So stupid.
The only thing they added is, typically you would hear holy water would either hurt them or ward them off or whatever. But they said they can't cross running water.
Oh, okay.
And sort of the idea is that, like, running water is clean and pure, whereas, like, stagnant water may have diseases and stuff.
I've heard,
I like that.
That was
There's
new
too
to
many
me.
gods for it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that was new to me, too.
Because that's a D&D thing. That's their flair they added.
I want to counter, though, with a little
that.
bit, because I was doing a little bit of research, and I did watch this show on Netflix called Castlevania, which is based on a video game, I think, which may also be based on some other literature comics. Is it really? Is it really?
Probably.
Okay, so no, because they mentioned there's a conversation where they talk about whether or not, like, I guess they can cross running water or something like that, and I never heard it then. and I never really paid attention to any of the lore from D&D where they talked about running water.
Well, I mean,
that's kind of a demon. No, it's not a demon thing.
D&D was created in the 70s, so there's probably plenty of media out there that has adopted the same stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that's cool.
Who knows if that's even like an original D&D thing? To be honest,
it said it. It said this is original to D&D in like the fucking historical manuscripts I was reading.
Okay, never mind then. I'm so sorry. I take that back. That's really, I actually kind of prefer that over Holy Water.
Well, I think Holy Water's also added in later editions, but
probably just because it's a classic.
Well, for cleric's sake, so clerics are useful.
We got to have a rule here to help clerics, those bastards. I like Running Water. It definitely feels more organic to a lot of settings you could drop a vampire in than Holy Water does, you know?
Yeah. And then
the way they mention it though, it's like a lot of the caveats to their powers are like, unless it's in running water, and I'm just like, what situation could this vampire possibly find himself where he's standing in running water? Like, I don't know how you would, as a player, trick a vampire into like, hey, step in this.
Yeah, hose. As a player, like, you make that so.
Yeah, like
yes, that just seems I
think that's fun because I mean it's definitely a tough situation that you're going to have to get a very intelligent creature into, right? Yeah. So it's like, how are you going to get them there? Like, it's a tough puzzle. And I really like that.
This is where vampires are really fun in D&D. So you can try and trick them into being around running water, right? You can try and trick them into where somebody has to invite them into a dwelling. So that's a fun dynamic. There's the mirror thing. I don't know if they avoid mirrors or they can't see the reflection. I don't know. It kind of changed. Oh man, hiccups.
That's pretty common.
Hiccup drunk.
Yeah, that's been around for a long time.
Your hiccups, I mean. The no reflection in the mirrors. That's like been around for a while. And then no casting shadows. I don't know if that's in D&D, but that's in Pathfinder, and that's in Bram Stoker's Dracula and stuff like that. Which is kind of.
We got what? The garlic, the stake through the heart. That's how you kill them. But actually,
garlic is real hit and miss, right?
Yeah, it kind of goes back and forth. It's been in D&D and they took it away. I don't know if it's in there in 5th or not. The stake through the heart, originally it just killed him for good, and then eventually they changed it.
Too late, baby, you give vampires a bad name. Sorry,
no, it was worth it. It was worth the wait. Eventually they changed it to where if you put a stake in their heart, it would kill them while the stake was in their heart. But if anyone ever removed it, they'd come back.
Yeah, so that's a new one for me. It actually says that in there. I don't know, maybe you wanted to skip this, Bryce, but for actual vampires, a stake through the heart renders them paralyzed, but not necessarily dead. And then they have the vampire spawn, which we can get into, where where a stake through the heart does in fact destroy them. So that's some pretty cool stuff. I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
So on that same topic of staking a vampire, and that is like extremely interesting. Another game we played through was the Sunless Citadel. At least that we played through.
Part of it.
We played through that dungeon, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you get to the end of this dungeon, there's a huge black tree there called the Golthius tree.
We got to the tree.
You guys, y'all beat the tree. Y'all beat this dungeon.
Mage handed a fruit out of there.
Yeah, you sure did. Welcome. But that tree actually was grown out of a stake that was driven through a vampire's heart.
Oh, shit.
That's why the tree was evil.
We should have talked to anybody in that campaign. We just murdered
everyone. If y'all would have talked to anyone, y'all would have learned some things.
We were murder hobos in that one.
You absolutely were.
Hey. That's good. That's cool to find out after the fact. No, actually, I feel like we kind of heard about that.
But I think that would have been great to know in the game. You probably didn't spend any time on that. Anyways.
Crap. All right. Well, I found two other important things that I wanted to address in my manner of finding the most important aspects of all the creatures that we discussed. The first one is we got undead nature. Neither a vampire nor a vampire spawn. I don't know why I said that weird. Spawn requires air, and I had a question to pose to you guys. Would that make them better or worse at playing instruments?
Better.
Like a trumpet. Do you think
much better?
Well, do they breathe at all though, or would it just be I can like?
They're capable of
breathe.
Breath.
That's what I'm wondering. I think so too.
Worse. They're worse.
But yeah. So Blake says worse, and I don't. I'm back and forth on this. And
I think better because they still have like their organs. Like they have organs. They're not decomposing like a zombie would.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're decomposing.
But if they don't require air, would they even breathe at all? And if they don't breathe at all, would they be worse at instruments?
Think about human nature.
Like a trumpet.
How lazy you are. If I didn't have to breathe, I don't think I would bother.
Why would you?
Yeah.
If my body didn't force me to breathe, I wouldn't.
So there are some people who can learn to what's called circular breathe, where you can breathe in and out at the same time, right? In through your nose and out through your mouth. So if you're playing trumpet, you could essentially just play a note forever.
You just keep playing it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean,
even if you need air, you can do that.
So I guess we need to really distill this down, right? Are we just talking about like any creature who just can't breathe, but apart from that is a normal person? Or are we talking about vampires,
no,
right?
You said they can't breathe. That's incorrect. They're capable of breathing. They don't need to breathe.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Fine. So are we talking about any creature that doesn't need to breathe, or are we talking about vampires?
We're talking about vampires.
There's a difference. Vampires? Oh, yeah, vampires are amazing at every instrument no matter what. Yeah, of course. They have an eternity.
Blake, I don't know if you realize this yet. This episode is about vampires.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, if we add in their other powers, are we specifically talking about this one particular power?
Is it a power?
This one particular, this undead nature
That's my
power.
question. Because if I can add in, like, eternal life, if I can add in, like, doing nothing but playing the instrument to get good at it, of course they're going to be good at it.
Was that the question? Wasn't good at it, was it?
It was more if they don't require air, would that give them an advantage or disadvantage or no advantage at all?
I think it would be an advantage.
I would say it's not an advantage.
No, it would be an advantage because sometimes you're reaching the end of your breath and you're just trying to squeeze the last couple notes out there, but they wouldn't have that. I mean,
but that would to me makes it a disadvantage. Like they don't require air, so they're not training their lungs to play. I think it would be a disadvantage. Anyway, this is about as far as I got in my research, and then I just got stonewalled in a brain funk thinking.
This is where your ADD took over. And you're like, well, hold on.
Yeah. So this is where I jump off the pilot, the steering wheel, and I have to hand it over because this is as far as I was able to get.
So we know other popular vampires in media. There's Lost Boys, arguably.
I totally forgot about the Lost Boys.
The best movie.
One of my favorite vampire movies. It's very good.
Before you go on to the next one, did I tell you I got Jordan, my partner, to watch that film without knowing anything about it? So she got the vampire come about 25 minutes of that movie as a pure twist.
The best
she thought
way.
It was just an 80s coming of age tale, and they were real fucking vampires.
That's great.
Dude,
I'm glad she got to experience it like that.
It was the best way to show anyone that movie. If you ever have the pleasure of showing someone Lost Boys, but not explaining that it's a horror movie and just say it's an 80s coming of age movie, mwah, chef's kiss.
This is why people have kids, so they can bring to the world completely ignorant people and then show them things like Lost Boys and then just watch their little baby faces.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with Lost Boys, it's 4 boys who were vampires, who were also a brass quartet, very good at instruments, right? And then you have another one, Blade. Very interesting concept. Daywalker.
He was a Lost Boy. Blade was the 4th Lost Boy.
He's a Daywalker. He can walk.
You kind of tie those together. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Those are related.
Yeah, Blade can walk in the sun, unlike other vampires. He was a vampire who was also a vampire hunter. Also really good at harmonica, another wind instrument. So
technically, in Brahms' Dracula, he could walk in the sun.
I think I remember seeing. But anyway, it's still really cool.
Certainly, Bram Stoker's was not the original Dracula, nor was it the original vampire. But seeing as it is so influential to pop culture, it is a little strange that that took off after him.
There's no contest that Dracula is the most known.
Oh yeah, it's not even close.
Jacob. I just realized I forgot to get to my second point. Previously, when I mentioned I had 2 points that I wanted to bring up from the D&D.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The second one, just as important as the first, was that when you turn into a bat, I just thought this was so hilarious. You turn into a bat, it gives its walking speed, and I just wanted to imagine
a bat walking,
a little bat waddling, and it's 5 feet.
So one square, one square turn,
and it's just imagine the situation that you'd have to be in to be like, all right, I'm in bat form, but I can't fly. How fast can I go? And the rule book says you can waddle
Well,
5
it's nice
feet.
of them. It's nice of them to put that in writing like that, you know. So you're not
Yeah,
scrambling.
it's so important
Right.
for them to put in there.
I bet there were
I just thought that was
many
hilarious.
tabletop arguments about that. Like, fuck you, a bat could totally walk.
Yeah, right. Okay, for once and for all, 5th edition, we're gonna settle the score about how fast a bat can waddle. It's 5 feet. All right.
Something else
Case
that was
closed.
something else that was interesting about the D&D and how it changed is that I think it was 3rd edition where they added that a vampire can summon pets to help it fight. And when I say pets, it was somewhere between
Iguanas.
it was between 10 and like 100 rats or bats, or 3 to 17 wolves to like help it fight.
Oh.
That's like an
17
army.
is
Big
a
range.
lot of wolves,
That's
man.
that's a range right there.
Yeah,
How do you even get that?
I mean, I
range?
think you would roll for it or something, but it does give
Well,
you
yeah.
the
What
range.
D17 do you have? I'm sure there's a modifier, but I'm
No,
just
it's like
trying to
it's one of
figure
those
out which
table
one.
situations, you know.
Gotcha.
One of them
Gotcha,
tables,
gotcha.
Blake. You know.
I
one
thought
of
it was
them
going to be like a
tables.
2. I thought it was going to be 2d6 plus like something or whatever.
You'll please
That's
refer
it.
to the Monster Manual Vampire Wolf table. We're going
If you half it, then take the square of it. That's what it is.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Killed it.
That sounds right. What's your guys? So we talked about fucking Lost Boys, which is a great film. Great.
Everybody
pull.
should
Totally
watch
forgot
it.
about.
Everyone
What's
should.
everybody's
So good.
outside of D&D? What's your favorite and least favorite vampire? I guess representations and forms, because there's a few different. Most of them have the same or similar characteristics, but there's
There's
some
so
tweaks and-
many.
yeah.
So
I was
Lost
gonna. I
Boys-
came ready for like, man, we're gonna
came?
riff so hard on like I just
Gross.
jizzed in when I was thinking about the film franchise and book franchise Twilight. I realized I had never
a good
even
one.
seen any of. I saw one of those movies in the theater, and I swear to God, I don't remember. I don't remember it being bad or good. I just don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anything about Twilight, the books or the movies. I haven't seen it or
Can
read
I,
any one, but I don't have anything against it either. Like, I'm not one of those, snobs.
I mean, just confirm there are vampires in Twilight. Blake, just confirm, because I'm not remembering
Can
that
I
incorrectly.
can I come in? Can I come in here with a heater? We watched Twilight last month because the movie is so bad. I wanted to watch it again.
So you're saying it is bad?
I didn't watch
It
the
is
first
a
one.
very bad.
Does it
film.
get better?
It is. I've watched one of the films,
Okay.
and then the next day we went to go on Amazon Prime to check out the next one because we laughed our asses off so much, and we couldn't tell if it was free or not, so we backed out because Amazon Prime's video choice selection.
you're not wrong.
It's very hard to tell if things are free or not.
their user interface is garbage.
Yeah, you
it's
gotta be
absolute
careful.
garbage. But let me throw out some things about the Twilight vampires that are pretty different. At least one feature that is pretty different from every other vampire. They can actually go in the sun, a la Bram Stoker's. So they are more realistic than other vampires.
How is that
However,
realistic? That's one depiction.
it's a realistic vampire. The realistic vampire is Bram Stoker's.
Real to me, damn it.
That's it. That's it. That's a real vampire at this point.
All right, they're all Blade.
True.
Daywalker.
But from there, if they are in the sun, they sparkle.
So how do they explain that?
Sparkle. They don't.
So-
They just sparkle. So here's how they explain it. They moved to the Pacific Northwest because it rains there.
It's
a
never
lot.
sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, and so they
I
the sparkling is interpreted as like glistening from the moist, damp air.
No. The sparkling is interpreted as if somebody straight up threw glitter on them, and that's probably an exaggeration. But they look like they went to a pure rave and were covered in glitter and stepped out into a spotlight. Like just
So they probably should have moved
Point
to
of
San
that? What's the point
Francisco.
of adding that? I don't know. I'm not saying there's utility in all of the weird things about vampires, but that just seems like
It's
I
literary. It's literarily interesting. Is that a word? That's not a word.
is that-
but-
maybe.
it's not
Maybe.
only that. I will say it basically what that does is allow vampires to walk in the day, which is an improvement and a scarier version of the typical vampire.
What it
which has to be
allows
at night.
is for you to write more interesting stories because they don't only have to be awake at night.
No, true. But I agree. But it also adds an element of like a weakness of being in the sun. So it gives
Yeah.
them a power and gives them a weakness. Like you can walk around during the day, but if you do, people are going to notice
It's
immediately.
gonna be weird.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. I don't think that narratively it was handled by the right person, but I think that at least in and of itself is an interesting quality to add. You know.
This reminded me like pre D&D, like old vampire lore. Original. Well, I don't even know if it was original, but back in the day, they used to be known to be obsessed with counting, almost like compulsive.
Really?
So
like leprechauns
if you had a vampire and you wanted to get rid of it, you would just like, if it was like coming at you or whatever, you would just spill like 1,000 beans on the ground,
and they have to
and
count
like it would just start to count it, and to the point where they would keep counting it even if the sun was coming up, and then the sun would come up and they would die.
And they'd kill themselves, or they'd be killed.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
See, but I kind of love old D&D for that. Old D&D
no, that wasn't
has
even
so
D&D. That was
pre
pre-D&D.
Oh no shit, my bad.
I was old D&D.
That's, and you count from Sesame Street. He's obsessed with counting.
What?
And I don't know if they got it from that or if they just got that from the name, the Count. But
Count Dracula.
They still arrived there.
I don't know. I would say it's probably a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Yeah,
like Jim Henson was a smart man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure he read up some dumb lore.
Yeah,
it is not dumb, sir.
I mean, look, if your monster dies because it likes to count too much, it's fucking dumb.
I've died dumber ways in D&D.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Can't deny that.
I was thinking about the media sort of portrayals, I guess, media portrayals of vampires that I like generally, and vampire portrayals that I don't like. And the ones that I landed on that I don't like have a lot to do with how terrified I was as a child when watching them. And so
that's fair.
One of them, I as a kid, I really was terrified of the vampires from Dusk Till Dawn. I hated how evil and like demonic and gross and ugly they looked. And I was like, okay, well, what's a cool one I like? I like the ones where they're a little bit more human looking with things like I like the Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves Bram Stoker's Dracula. I thought that was cool. Yeah. I liked in the middle ground though. I was thinking about this. In the middle ground, in between that, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Hell yeah!
Because they became ugly. Their faces became ugly. But David Boreanaz was still fucking hot whenever he had his vampire face on. I was like, that's a good mix. It's like a little demonic, a little scary, but also still kind of sexy. So I thought that was a cool mix. But all the ones that I hated, and even to this day. There was a show. Did you guys watch the show The Strain on FX?
No, I heard about it.
I think I've seen an episode or two, but it's been years.
Yeah, so the Strain is it really digs into kind of actual Romanian like vampire lore, where you have these vampires that are called the Strigoi, and they're very parasitic, very ugly, they're very gross. They're very much they mutate humans into these monsters that are genderless. No organs except for organs designed to suck blood. It just transforms your body. It's really gross and upsetting. I really don't like that. I don't know. I don't like that the pure monster form of vampires to me. I'm much more a fan of like the humanoid, charming, can seduce you, or and then they can become malicious.
Yeah, the latter is definitely more interesting.
I agree.
I don't know. I think so.
Something that always comes to mind, and I'm racking the depths of my prepubescent brain here. There was a Jim Carrey movie. There was a vampire
Once
movie.
Bitten.
Once Bitten.
Oh,
yeah.
Where
I've never seen that one.
That's a good
literally
one.
The only thing I remember is like I think it's towards the end of the movie where like I think the vampire needed like a virgin.
Yeah.
And like he got laid in a casket real quick or something. He's like, no, not anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
I respect that.
Totally forgot about that. Yeah, that movie.
The only part of the movie I remember.
He was pretty young. I'm not sure when that came out, but that had to have been one of Jim Carrey's first movies.
1985, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So In Living
that
Color,
feels like a very,
right
very early Carrey.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I totally forgot about that movie too. You guys are pulling me back to some good 80s vampire films with Lost Boys and.
If you're listening to this and you haven't found out yet, we're not young.
No. Blake is.
I mean,
Blake's a baby.
I'm
Blake
30.
Baby.
I'm flat 30. That's not exactly young.
You're a baby.
That's true. I am.
You can't even listen to My Brother, and Me yet. They tell you not to at the beginning.
Able to. I like, until I hit 35 and I'm able to buy super porn. That's when I'm really gonna be excited.
Is that the age limit now?
That is
super porn.
Is.
Yeah.
To get super porn is 35. It's pretty rough. So let me say one word, and let's see if you've either seen the media and how much you hate this version of a single vampire. And that word is Soke.
Yeah,
Suke,
we talked
True
about
Blood.
this before.
Yeah.
I
we talked about
did
this.
not like this show. I did not. I watched a couple episodes.
Hold on.
I heard
I
the
like
books
the
were
show.
great though.
I genuinely like the show. But
did not know
fuck
this
that
book.
voice.
Yeah, so even the voice I don't have a problem with. The only thing I have a problem with is the name Sookie.
Yeah.
Suki's not that crazy.
I don't like
I
it.
hate
No,
the
I'm
name.
with Bryce
No,
on this.
I haven't. To be fair, I have not seen the entire series. I've seen a lot of it. We got a bunch of the box sets, like the seasons, from a friend, and we watched it. And they were, entertaining.
Remind me, in the show True Blood, were the vampires like in the open, or was it?
Yeah, so
they were in the
general
open,
premise.
right?
The general
it was like
premise of True
Louisiana.
Blood. Well, it was the whole world essentially, but yes,
But
it
they
was
sell
set
a
in
product.
Louisiana.
Yeah, the True Blood is like a
Yes,
product.
so
Yeah,
True Blood
they
is a
drink
fake
the True
blood
Blood,
that
yeah.
vampires finally realize, hey, we don't have to kill people anymore, and we can actually come out in the open and just say, hey, we're just going to drink this fake blood, which as a premise is phenomenal, and I actually really enjoyed the first 2 or 3 seasons of the show. I forget the point where I fell off, but like it's actually really damn good,
It's a
and
good
then
show.
it does. Yeah, it is. Like I
heard
would
it was
definitely
good,
say check
but I
that
never got
show
into
out
it.
if you haven't seen it. I forget the exact point where I was like, I'm kind of out now.
Probably the same point as me.
How
And
many
I don't
seasons
remember what
is
that point was either.
Like 6 or 7. It was actually quite a
No,
few.
that's pretty
Yeah, I
long
think I saw
run.
like 4 maybe.
I saw the first
I think
few
I got-
episodes of season one, and I was like, I don't really, not into this.
Season
Not into the
one
raunchy-
actually,
anyway.
Hell yeah,
Season
man! Softcore
1,
porn.
like-
What's up?
No,
As
see,
a
I'd already
general-
done super porn at that point, so I was,
Super porn at that point, you just got to.
yeah.
But as a general concept, season 1, if you just took that as like a one season, like a short story, is actually really good. It's about like people in this small town in Louisiana are dying, and it's after vampires have come out in the open, and it's after some vampires have come out in the open in this town. So they're trying to solve these grisly murders. And it's whether or not, like, it clearly looks like a vampire is doing it, but is it a vampire? And if it is a vampire, which of the vampire? It's the first season as an isolated story is one of the
pretty good.
better vampire stories I've ever seen. It's really good.
Yeah, and it's always refreshing to get kind of like a new take like that.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I agree. Maybe I'll go back and visit it. I have the HBO Max now, so I can go back.
Ooh,
And
give me that
take a
sign
look.
it.
We own like the first couple seasons on DVD if you want to.
Oh,
I mean, I just would rather Travis's HBO Max sign in, but that's fine.
Yeah, here it's this. Don't edit this out, Bryce. So I can.
It's Blake at alcohol and
No.
the password is definitely not password.
In True Blood, did they eat food other than? Do they just drink the blood? Do vampires?
I think they can eat food, but they don't like gain.
but they can't sustain
any
themselves on it.
Yeah.
It's been too long. I can't remember if they just do it to keep up appearances or if it's
Yeah,
something
honestly, I
that
don't
they
know either.
can't do. Sometimes it's vampires throw up if they eat food, like in What We Do in the Shadows. Sometimes it's not. There's a billion. It's been too long.
I know they
That's
go
a
into these
great-
bars and they order
great
True
show.
Blood. It's like a thing. And
Oh,
then
What
like
We Do
some,
in the Shadows. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was still talking about True Blood, but like some people who aren't vampires would like try to order True Blood to be cool,
Yeah.
and they're like, ugh,
Did
Why
they
would
like
you ever
it?
want that?
no. I mean, I don't know if they really like portrayed it like that, but
I mean, okay, so quick question though. If True Blood was available and it was just at a convenience store, right? And you were at a party and people were drunk and they were like, you want to try a little bit of True Blood just to see what it's like? It's
mean,
not real
yeah.
human blood, but you'll know what the taste is like.
If I
Would
was
you try
drunk,
it?
yeah.
Absolutely, I'd try it.
I'm with you. I would try it. I
there's no
just
question.
wanted to know.
Just
yeah,
no.
that
no
wouldn't
question
even
I'd
be
try
the
it.
weirdest thing I have tried.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. You do love kumquats.
Thought you were going somewhere else for a second.
No, I wasn't. I just wanted to come with somewhere random.
I do
Hey,
love
like
kumquats
a
though. You're
brass
not lying.
kumquat party.
They are good.
Are they really?
Yeah, have you not had
I've
one?
never had one.
They're like
I've
little
never-
bitty
why would I have that?
grape-sized oranges,
it's
and
the
you eat the
semen
whole
of
thing.
fruit. Why are you eating fruit semen?
Yeah. You should take one right now. Where'd you even get that? You
You're
had a
good.
kumquat ready this entire time?
Who doesn't have kumquats?
He just reached
Vampires.
into his
It's little
pants,
citrus.
grabbed a kumquat, pulled it out.
Look, okay, you guys are
threw
gonna
it in
get
his-
scurvy, and you're gonna come crawling to me, and fuck you guys. You can't have any.
That's true.
So,
but
but one thing I highlighted because they drink the blood, they don't eat the food, or they can maybe just to keep up appearances.
Maybe.
But do they poop and pee? Do vampires poop and pee?
Well, they drink blood,
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Do they completely
in.
absorb the nutrients of the blood like magically, or is there some sort of like waste product that turns itself into blood pee or blood poop?
Maybe that's like they burn that kind of energy to transform into bats and shit. So it's not like disappearing.
Maybe.
That puff of smoke is all the blood they're expelling. It's gross.
Can they get fat? Because there was that fat vampire in Blade. You remember the like morbidly obese one? How did he get fat? Did he get fat off blood? Can you get fat off blood?
Well, think of a tick. Ticks get fat off blood all the time.
True. That's true. But they're more swollen.
True. Fuck. Now I'm back. Because other times vampires, like in Interview with the Vampire, they cannot change your appearance no matter what. Cut your hair, it immediately grows back. Like things like that.
I forgot about that. That was another great movie from when I was a kid. I loved Interview with the Vampire.
You were a fucked up kid.
I actually thought who is that actress?
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, I just thought as a child actress, holy shit, what a fucking home run that was for her.
Hey.
That was really cool. I really liked.
She is still a babe, okay, Kristen? If you're listening.
I'm not talking about her appearance. She was just like such a good actress in that movie because she was playing counter to fucking Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and Antonio Banderas. I mean, like, what a
even at her age, she had so much screen presence. She was fantastic. Like her like in that movie, which is obviously one of the far more adult films that she did as a child. Like Jumanji was fucking sick.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like she was fantastic. She's always been fantastic.
So you're saying by Anne Rice rules. No, you can't get fat from
Anne Rice rules. If you're fat when you turn into a vampire, you fat.
You can't even burn it off.
No, if you
Peloton.
You are stuck.
No Peloton.
No, yeah.
Peloton. Right, so, you get me if you didn't have that monthly subscription.
This conversation is actually getting me. It's giving me a good idea. So what are the few threads that we can say are definitively vampire, right? Like clearly, it's going to be drinking blood.
This is shit. How about how can we change? How can we change a vampire? What kind of alternate vampire can we make to make it more interesting?
I will say, if you're gonna say OP, it's way too OP. Look at this, man. In the blurb in D&D, you bump everything up to fucking 18. And then it even says if your character turns into a vampire, the DM probably wants to take control of that thing. This is just way OP.
We didn't even get into D&D where they can do something energy drain, I think it's called. They can take your levels away.
Yeah, that's fucking...
I think that's old school D&D. That ain't 5e. That's fucking terrifying.
If you're fighting them, you're level like 18 or whatever. They can take I think on 3rd edition, they can take 2 away at a time, and you don't get that shit back.
That's a big thing in Pathfinder, actually. That's still pretty common.
Oh my god!
That type of energy drain,
I
like
hate
lowering your levels. Yeah. That's the problem. I think a lot of people like this, but I think one of the reasons 5e is a little bit more approachable is because like how much math you have to change on your sheet to like, I just went down 2 levels. Okay, let me like look at how many things that impacts on all of my stats. Holy shit! Why did you make this so fucking hard for me?
But and you talk about a big bad though.
Yeah, it's intimidating. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, that if any enemy could do that, it has to be the big bad. Like that, you can't just come across that in session 4. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah. Oh, I was actually thinking. I don't want to spoil another podcast, but I was just thinking about I was reading about how fucking OP a vampire is, and I thought about one of my other favorite podcasts that Bryce, I know you like, is Dungeons and Daddies, and how they have an encounter, and they
got
unsure if their lore is right.
I just started this, you son of a bitch. If you ruin any of this for me, I'm going to be furious.
I'm not going to spoil anything. But let's just say they handle it in a way where the DM is like, you guys we're not supposed to be able to handle this. At all, because this guy is way too powerful for you, and it was absolutely hilarious. I can't wait for you to listen to that episode.
Blake, it's a very good podcast.
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't spoil it. I won't say anything more to that.
Back to my sort of scenario, talking about trying to create a variant vampire. Right?
Like how to make it more interesting.
So here's what I came up with. Yeah, they don't suck blood. They have to survive by sucking semen, right?
Okay, you just want to get sucked off by one of these.
Yeah, it feels weird.
No, I want to be.
Really
I want to be one of these creatures. Are you kidding me?
Okay, well,
that's
turned
fine.
that
I'm
around
back
on
in.
me.
I'm back in. I'm back in.
But here's the thing. Are we calling this a disease or like what are we calling this? Like vampirism?
It depends on you. It's up to you. That's up to everybody. It's a curse or a disease.
Okay,
one or the other.
So to get this variant of vampirism, it only affects people who are homophobic. The males who are homophobic.
Oh my god!
Back in.
So if you're a male and you're homophobic, you might get this where you have to survive by sucking on semen.
I love it.
You know, as silly as this is, it really does, I think, highlight more of like the tragedy and the curse of being a vampire, which you don't really see a lot of that in media. Being a vampire is badass. It's cool. It's something you want to attain. And when you say, like Blake, you said it's a curse, you don't really get that impression from a lot of like movies and video games. But what Bryce is saying, that would be a curse, and you're like,
oh, it is.
You have all of the other powers and abilities, and so you're like, this is something cool. I can do a lot of cool stuff, but I am fundamentally,
we do want to point out. That is only because the people are homophobic. There's nothing wrong.
Ain't nothing wrong with sucking dick, but
I do it every Thursday.
But only because they're homophobic, and it's the irony of it is what makes it so interesting.
That's the tragedy in it, which is it's also funny. So I like it.
Man, I'm not getting confirmed to the Supreme Court. I know that. Like after people hear this episode.
You're not in enough Klan rallies to get in the Supreme Court right now.
Thanks for coming to this congressional hearing. Blake, can you speak to, first question.
Do you like beer?
I'm in.
I like beer. So what would I change about a vampire to make it more interesting? Shoot, man. Let's see.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I had the best answer.
That's true.
It's hard to top. It's really hard to top.
I'd make them really good at skateboarding.
Yeah, but like, what do they need for sustenance?
At what cost? At what cost, though? I think that's what any benefit you add to it.
They can't turn into a bat. They can't turn into a bat anymore, but they can skateboard everywhere.
But they still just like suck on blood. That's boring. That's
Excuse you.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to leave the blood sucking part.
The other portion of this, the other portion of the blood sucking and the skateboarding is they lose their vampire fangs. So they have to bash people with their skateboard at that point to get the
instead of blood, they have to eat other people's boogers.
Oh.
This is my vampire.
Bryce.
And I prefer the boogers.
Bryce.
Because vampires can't pick other people's noses.
I like this. There's forbiddance. There's forbiddance around other people's noses. They have to be invited into the nostril to get the boogers.
Invited in.
Oh my god!
Get your finger up in there, bud.
Travis, how would you convince a person to let you suck on their nostrils?
Oh boy.
You gotta convince them. They have to do it willingly.
Yeah, without money.
No money.
This is unfair. Look at Travis's face. I'd let him do anything.
Yeah, I think you just sort of show him my face.
Let's just say your face is covered. How would you get past it?
I would try my hardest to make up some sort of medical reasoning.
Just suck on their nose.
I'd have to somehow convince them that I'd have to somehow convince them that they needed it to survive in some way.
No, here's what you do.
This is hard.
Here's what you do. You start a program for adults who never learned how to swim, right? You throw them in the deep end. Let them drown a little bit. Then, when you're giving them mouth-to-mouth, you suck on their nose a little bit.
Okay. That's actually not a bad plan.
Here's the problem, though.
I'm surprised that you came up with that.
Let me throw a wrench in this. Not many beachgoers at night now, huh?
Who's at a beach?
Not many pool goers who need a lifeguard.
Jacuzzi guard.
Well, if you set the program, adults got to work, right? We got to do it in the evening, guys. Sorry.
Oh, we did do scuba classes at night one time.
Yeah, see? Fuck you, Blake.
You idiot. You could have died out there.
And
Why
there
would
was
you
a guy
do that?
sucking on my nose. Wait a minute.
We're onto something. Or, if you go to the Dune planet,
Arrakis, yeah.
Not sure.
You just modify their still suit where when it plugs into their nose, it just sucks out, and then you collect that.
You just nibble on their nose pieces?
Their nose pieces.
That's
what it would sound like.
Get on in there.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. We need spooky and sexy is what we need.
All right.
Depends on the medium, but we can just say D&D, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So first, spooky. How spooky? It's 9 p.m. Dark as shit. We got the night ducks. Which, by the way, if you don't follow us on Instagram, go out check out our night ducks. They're fantastic.
Do love me some night ducks.
Yeah. We're feeding those guys, and this guy comes at you. Is it spooky?
I'll say this. Normally,
+5,
I'd say
-5.
I'd say spooky and sexy here are gonna both hinge on if they look exactly like the picture of the vampire in the D&D 5th edition monster manual, because he's wearing a ridiculous outfit.
It looks like Strahd.
Yeah, is it Strahd? I guess.
No, it's not Strahd.
No, I'm saying it does. I'm saying it looks.
But it does kind of.
Okay, so he's wearing a similar outfit to maybe what you would imagine Strahd to be wearing, and I just think this is absurd. I would not be afraid. In fact, I would be tempted to mock this person for wearing such a ridiculous garb.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think
it's also a little sexy.
Well, we're doing spooky right now. Let's just focus on spooky. I'm going to put a number on it. I would say a -3 spooky for me. Because, I mean, they just look like a pale guy, right? Or a pale girl, if whatever.
You guys are
idiots. I'm going to say -3.
Okay.
-3. I'm with Bryce. Look at that.
You got a mind flare with spooky, too.
Blake, look at
you
the
guys
outfit.
Are idiots. Yeah, that's the reason he's scary, right? If I'm on the fucking bench feeding night ducks, right, and a person in this outfit walked up to me, that scares me more than just seeing a regular person in jeans and a t-shirt.
Disagree. I think they're just cosplaying.
Yeah,
I'm in the dark
they came
on the
from
bench.
A LARPing session.
I'm saying I'm giving him a 2. I think having a classic 2? +2, that spooks me. He's got pointy ears. He's got teeth coming at me. He's got pointy ears. He's got teeth. He's got long claws, and he's got an outfit that is not dated for today.
I mean maybe he's a hipster, like that wouldn't bother me.
+2. He scares me. I don't like that at all. I don't like that walking towards me one bit. It also makes me think pure fucking crazy, and they don't care what they'll do because of how dumb they look.
Yeah,
mental health.
Like if this guy's willing to wear a cape
you need
like
to treat
this,
these people like people.
If you're wearing a cape, that's +1 to terrifying to me. Period. End of story.
If your lapels
in a regular
come down to your
human
belt,
society.
If your lapel of your jacket comes down to your belt, then fucking who knows what you're gonna do? You're a psychopath.
That's another +1. That's why it's +2. It was 0. That's it.
Okay. Well, how about that's where we are on spooky. How about sexy? Sexy. I'm gonna go. That's a +2. I think he's up there.
He's got high cheekbones.
And you got to remember too that they are very charismatic.
Yeah.
They can charm people.
I think before
I gotta say, I'm with you, Bryce. I'm gonna go with at least a +3. It's a hot person.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say the same. I was gonna up Bryce a little bit to +3. I think that's where I land.
I could be swayed into +3. I think that
he would be with his charm spell. So
yeah, Travis, did you just charm me into +3?
Maybe I'm a vampire.
Oh,
I'm not.
I haven't. Oh, thank God. Oh, fuck. I'd invited you to my house already. I'd be so fucking scared.
I've seen you in a mirror, but I don't know.
Would vampires be able to transmit their image via Discord?
Now there's a question.
Yeah.
Oh,
listeners, get to us.
Leave that to
Tell us
listeners.
what you think.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm worried about that. I don't think
could
they could.
a vampire Well, can they take a picture? I don't know. Well, listeners, get back to us.
All right. I'm sure there's at least one movie, probably The Lost Boys, where a fucking vampire didn't show up in the picture.
Like a Polaroid. Yeah.
There's got to be one, right? There's got to be one.
Well, I think that there's some lore about pictures.
I do not know. I think that is one of the situations where there's probably a good amount of lore, and I have no earthly idea.
Yeah. Well, listeners, you can please tell us. You can reach us at Twitter, Alcohol in the letter N Arcana, Instagram at Alcohol and Arcana. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
You can email us at alcoholandarcana@gmail.com.
I think that's all of us. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Wow.
Adios.
Good week.